Snake Man here. Okay, diamond time. Here we go. Whip it over. Diamond python. And we open up the cage and it has just shed. Look at that. It's ready to kill me because it, see that? Oh, look at that bag. You reckon venomous snakes are dangerous. Diamond python's the nicest snake in the world. If there's any snake on this planet that doesn't bite, it's these. But when they know there's food around, they bite. Now, let's get the skin out of here. This is the snake skin. Now, I want to show you the skin. See that? Narrow belly scales. Narrow belly scales. Shed in one piece. Usually a sign of good health. A lot of our snakes don't shed in one piece. It's not because they're unhealthy. It's because we work them hard during snake shows and they dry out. But then we just stick them in a bit of water. Skin still comes off and our snakes remain immaculate. See that? Beautiful. Now, we have a venomous snake skin here from a taipan, inland taipan. Wide belly scales. See that? Wide belly scales. And that's how you can tell a snake from a skin. I mention that because today, I think is about the 28th of November, I've had 2 calls to get snakes out of roofs or houses, and both of them were this kind of snake. Not this individual, they were carpet snakes, but very, very similar. Now, what we're going to do here is get a bit of food. Right, okay, in a bucket full of rodents here, and I just fished one out. I did have one minus to you. Here, eat it. Here, idiot. Stop missing. Yeah, they're useless, they are. They can't even hit. Diamond pythons, magnificent. Now, we actually have a lot of these. They are always very popular here in Victoria. People love the colour. They say diamond's a girl's best friend, but when I used to go out looking for them, I used to go up West Head Road on a hot night and find diamonds and death adders. A diamond was a good find, but I've got to tell you, the death adders was what I was into. I'm big on death adders. Anyway, that will gobble up the food and sit around for a couple of days, and then it will recover and digest the food, and it will work probably for another week doing live reptile shows. These guys work hard. They often work 7-8 days. They'll often work several weeks non-stop without a break. Sounds hard, but they might only be getting handled for a couple of hours a day. The rest of the time just sitting around doing nothing and recovering. And of course, it's like a bit of exercise. Our snakes end up being pumped. Now, as you can see, he is eating the rodent. This is what we call a wiener rat. We purchased from a pet shop called Amazing Amazon, where Ben and Paul look after us. They get them at a very good price. They give them to us at a good price. They are good for reptile supplies. There are some very good reptile supplies around, not just for rodents, but for hooks, for tongs. We've got Upmarket in the city, another good shop. Adam, he's the bloke that runs the show there. He's not the boss, but he's the guy that runs the reptiles there. Then, of course, we've got Brian Barnett Herp Shop over in the western suburbs of Melbourne, mainly mail order. Always fantastic as well. There are a few other good reptile suppliers. I think I've named the main ones. We've got Matt Borg, of course, with the rats over at Werribee Way. The only reason I don't deal with him that much is because Werribee's a lot further than Glen Waverley, and for where we are anyway. This diamond python, absolutely magnificent colour. I don't know where its parents are from. It's a captive bred one, of course, and who knows what's in its DNA, but it looks like a Gosford type, Newcastle type sort of colour. It's got a fair bit of light on it, but having said that, I've seen them with this sort of colour anywhere from about Port Macquarie right through to the New South Wales Victorian border, Genoa and Mallacoota. But usually this is more the northern half of the range sort of colour. They tend to be a bit brighter up there than the southern ones. But diamond pythons are a magnificent looking beast. I must say, having grown up with them all my life, being a Sydney boy, have been exposed to them since my early childhood. It's a bit of a, yeah, been there, done that, no more backwards. I've kept them, I've bred them, done all that sort of stuff. But they are magnificent. Very good for shows, they don't bite. But having said that, when we're using them for reptile shows, they do tend to twist around more than the carpets, surprisingly enough. I think so far, all the different diamonds and carpets that I've used, the best ones for the shows are probably the Central Australian carpet pythons, otherwise known as Bredel's pythons. They seem to be the best of the carpets. I mean, there's not a huge difference, but I do find them slightly better. They tend to sit round the neck, they don't constrict as much, they don't twist as much, they don't bite at all. They're just generally the best. Diamonds, also very good, but they do twist around and get stuck in hair a little bit, that sort of thing. And another snake that's extremely good for reptile shows with children, the Woma or sand python. Now you see how the snake uses his coils to hold the food in. That's pretty normal for pythons. It's very smart from their point of view. Makes for crap filming, of course. We don't get very good footage because you've got coils in the way of the mouth moving over the food. Now, sometimes they are a bit more obliging, but this animal is not. But anyway, what you're seeing is the real deal, how these snakes would eat their food in the natural real world. Now, it is taking its time, but of course, you've got to understand, this guy is not running to a timetable. This snake is not in a hurry to go to work. He's not in a hurry to do business. He's not in a hurry to do anything. He'll eat this and sit around for a few days. Now, I say he could well be a boy. It could well be a girl. I've actually got 4 of these. I bought them from a very good breeder in Queensland. He told me they were male and female, 2 pairs. I haven't actually probed them, but he will probably be right. Very rarely do I get the wrong sex when I buy from breeders. One of the good things about reptiles in Australia, there's some shocking people in the reptile game, but there are some good ones as well. And I think more are good than bad, and that's why generally when I buy snakes, I generally get looked after. The people, they tell me what they're sending me, and I must say, I don't think I've ever been ripped off. If ever I bought an animal and there's been a problem, I won't say it's been this end, but I will say it's certainly been an unforeseeable problem, as in not their fault. On rare occasions where I've bought an unhealthy animal from a vendor, generally they've told me up front, they said this animal's unhealthy, if you're buying it, you're buying this risk, and I've had to deal with it, and sometimes I succeed and sometimes I don't. Even snake busters are not perfect. But while we're talking about not being perfect, one thing we are perfect at is safety. Our company are the only ones in Australia with surgically devenomized deadly snakes, so that when we give you the world's best venomous snake show, we also give you the world's safest. That is, our snakes are all surgically devenomized, so they do not have a drop of venom, which means that neither me, my staff who also handle the snakes, or any member of the public is ever at risk of a venomous snake bite at Snake Busters shows. It mightly pisses off our opposition, who are also regulators. Melbourne Zoo and the Department of Sustainability are our main competitor. They are also regulators, and of course they don't like it, the fact that we have this unfair advantage. But we say they should raise their standards to meet ours. We should not have to lower our standards to meet their antiquated, cruel standards where they use sticks and tongs to handle snakes for public entertainment. Anyway, this diamond python's taking his time. He's taken over 6 minutes to get to this far, and I suppose that sums the deal. Pythons are slower moving than venomous snakes. It's just the way they are. They're like a slow motion version, but they don't live all that much longer, surprisingly enough. Your blacks and your browns seem to live just as long as your pythons, and they actually take just as long to mature as well. They take a good 4 years to mature, blacks and browns. I mean, I've bred red bellies in 3 years, but having said that, they didn't do too good out of it, so I generally recommend wait till your 4th year. As you can see, the jaws more or less dislocate, they get the food down, and this snake's having fun woofing it down. This particular animal would eat 2 or 3 of these, but we would rather not overfeed them. Our diamond pythons are borderline overfed already, and we've got to be a bit careful. No point in overfeeding a snake. It's just, you know, people think, oh, it's a status thing, have a bigger, fatter snake. Well, morbid obesity is not a status symbol. Whether it's reptiles or people, you're going to have the same problem. We look after our snakes like athletes. We want them to be lean and mean and in good condition. Not too lean, but just nice, okay? A bit of, just the right amount. Now, the good thing is they're easier than people to handle health-wise, because you can tell a person to eat good food and they'll rush out the milk bar and buy themselves a chocolate bar. Adults will buy themselves the Mars bar when they're buying a petrol. But the snakes, we can control everything that goes down their mouth, so we always can make sure that they stay in immaculate condition, at least at the diet end. There you go. Now while it opens his mouth there, it might open again. You might see the windpipe. Oh, he's not going to do it again, just in time. Poking his tongue out to smell the air, and he's going to come towards me. Now if you've just seen the Inland Taipan pictures, you'll see it's exactly the same. Coming towards me, looking for a bit of extra food. Non-venomous, venomous, they're all the same. They're all a couple of inches off the ground. They see the world from a very similar perspective, okay? So forget all this crap about pythons being nice and non-venomous snakes being horrible. It's all absolute unmitigated crap. Beautiful snake. Anyway, in Victoria, we're the only company that actually lets kids hold the animals. Basically, it's Snake Busters. And all I can say is beware of inexperienced imitators. Not only will they not let you hold the snakes, but if they bring a venomous snake into the place, it will be illegal and you will be at risk.